Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Age of the Primes G2 Snarl and Slug. You can see them there in front of the box. Go ahead and put them off the side real quick and take a look at that box. And yep, it is a very nice stylized box right there, 2-pack box. You got both Snarl and Slug there in their dino modes and, you know, red and green kind of paint over into some all sorts of cool stuff going on there. You got the Transformers logo right there, Age of the Primes and their names. Hasbro and 32 steps and 31 steps for each of them. Now up here you have the Autobot logo and Transformers and Takara Tomy. On this side, hey look, there's a Snarl, Dinobot Snarl. On this side, hey look, it's Slug and Dinobot Slug. And down here at the bottom you have some recycling stuff and warnings and what's in some manufacturing details and what's included all down here. And on the back you have again the picture from the front and whatnot. And on this side you have a little quick little bio thing of sorts, which is cool. Snarl is never happy and keeps to himself. Slug has a bad attitude and dislikes everyone despite their negative personalities. These two Dinobots respect their leader Grimlock and follow his lead. And of course you get instructions for both of them, which, you know, considering they're, well, Dinobots are not exactly super complicated, but... So, Snarl and Slug. Yes, I'm going to keep calling them Slug because it pisses off the G1ers off, so... yeah, so out of the box, they pretty much look like this. Snarl, you do have to attach this back plate, which, yeah, unfortunately, the thing is these, you can see the little plates here. They get a little warped, but good news is rubbery plastic, so it shouldn't be too much effort, which I'll do. I just want to show that off initially, but yeah, there shouldn't be too much effort to get that bent back into place. Seems like mostly it's just this one gets warped bit, so I'm going to try to more or less get it back into place properly, but yeah. That's the one thing you'll have to attach out of the box. But yeah, you got G2 Snarl and Slug, which are based on their, well, obviously G2 color counterparts, which were not, well, they were, but they weren't. Again, I think I talked about this a little bit in the G2 Grimlock review, but when G2 Dinobots came along, initially they were, I believe initially they were the original G1 silver, just with the new G2 tampos. And then Grimlock got the blues. Snarl and Slug got red and green, and then I think there was also a running change where they swapped the colors around. So there are, apparently they're rarer though, so there are some green Snarls and red Slags from back in the day, but most of the G2 Snarls were red and most of the G2 Slags were green. And I don't know, my cousin had a green G2 Slag when I was a kid. That was it, so I know. This is actually pretty close. I believe that one might have been a little bit darker, but then again, also might have been just the lighting. My grandma kept her house kind of dark, so I don't know. It might have been the lighting, but I believe that green may have been darker. But generally, they look really good. They are very much the G2 colors. Everything. Yeah, getting in close a bit. Snarl first. Getting in front of here, of course, you got his eyes, which are a nice red. Right here, you got his little crown thing. You got a bunch of his little spikes, including his tailed thing. More kind of, you can see different shades of red. There's this kind of more of a kind of muted red versus more saturated red here, and you got the Autobot symbol, and you got the little target thing, some blue, you know, get some black down here as well as the red, and of course the gold shin plates and everything. And again, backpack, you got the gold and everything back here, and again on mine the little slightly warped fin thing, and it's also little yellow feet. Yeah, they didn't change that much. You know, the feet are still kind of the different yellowness, but yeah. And of course, Slug here, you got, well, of course, you got the dinosaur mouth hood thing. You got his very much solid black face with red eyes. Like, that is very gloss black. You got the little bits of silver here from the little frill thing from the dinosaur. You got, of course, the red torso, the green, silver with the Autobot symbol, and then the black, and a little bit of silver on the kneecaps, and some gold feet. And of course, the backpack, you know, there's a backpack right there. Also red horns, which, you know, like the toy, because the toy had red horns. So if you really want your G1 slug, whatever, to have a red horns like the toy, well, I guess you grab this thing and pop them off and swap them. But yeah, so pretty darn good as a whole. Pretty darn good looking as a whole, in my opinion. I will say also a couple different tolerance changes, at least on mine. It feels like. I feel like Slug's backpack here kind of overall actually holds together better than my G1 Slug's backpack. And yeah, these things are a little tighter than they are on my G1 Slug. Also, these are silver versus just kind of gray. Him, there's a weird thing where it's like, for the most part, it's better, but his fists are a little too tight. I've had a couple times where I rotate the fists and they just pop right off because they just kind of work themselves off. And down here, the legs, when they go into robot mode, you'll see that, or not robot mode, in Dino mode, you'll still see in a little bit, but they have a tendency not to fully want to stay tabbed together, which is a little annoying. They don't want to stay tabbed together. But generally, oh yeah, his knees. I don't know what it is. His knees are better than my G1 Slug. My G1 Slug has kind of iffy knees. His are generally a little bit better. But as for articulation, though, a head for Snarl here, his head, of course, ball joint, you got left and right, up and down, all the waggle right there. Got a ratcheted rotation right there. As a shoulder, it would be able to go full 360 if it wasn't for the little tail bit right there. Also outward right there on the friction joint. You got the bicep swivel right there. Elbows, you can see, got a nice bit of curl right there. The fists, like I said, do rotate, although sometimes the fists do pop off, at least on mine. You got a waist rotation, completely unhindered and nice and frictiony. You got the hips, kind of a softer ratchet, go forward that far and back that far. Outward, you do have pretty much the full splits. You do have a thigh swivel right here. And again, a knee ratchet right there, like that. And down here at the feet, you do have, of course, ankle tilt, about 90 degrees worth. And then the toe can also go down if you like, you know, for that. And I guess you can also adjust how these sit if you want as well. Now for Slug, of course, his head is also on a ball joint, but it's in that hood, so it's a little bit difficult to get into. But, you know, it's got the ball joints, you got left and right, up and down. Although the platform is on also like up and down, a little bit of wiggle as well. Just get a little bit in there. Shoulders ratcheted, so you got pretty much, again, full 360. You just gotta be mindful of the backpack. Outward, you got pretty much that far. You do have, of course, bicep swivel. Elbows, again, got a pretty good elbow curl right there. Fists can rotate freely. Waist can rotate, although with the waist you have to be mindful of the backpack. Good chance that you're going to knock this out of alignment, but, you know, not a huge problem to put it back in alignment, but hey, just know that's there. As for hips, you got forward that far on a ratchet, back that far on the ratchet. You got to move it out a little bit to clear the backpack. Outward, you do have pretty much, again, the full splits. Thigh swivel. You have that joint for the knee. I believe that's the correct joint, but you also have this joint, which is mostly transformation because you can see that hollow bit, but you get a pretty darn good curl if you use both the transformation joint, although just be mindful because it's really easy to also, you know, do that, and then now it's all out of whack, so you have to be mindful of that. Right there. And then down here at the feet, you do have, of course, ankle tilts, which are about 90 degrees. Also tab into place as well when it's fully in there. So there, that's articulation, which is pretty much what you expect from these guys. Pretty solid. Nothing particularly fancy, but very solid and satisfying. Particularly with those ratchets. And of course, accessories. Slug has his blaster, which is done in silver. You see that right there. Can go in his hand just fine, like so. Clearly, it's also painted. It's green plastic painted silver. That again, these pegs are kind of on the tighter side, so you know they're going to be secure, but it's a little bit of a scare. And then of course, yeah, Snarl has his red sword, which on mine is, again, it's rubbery plastic. It's a little bent, so I'm going to fix that too with some heat. Cold those. And Slug here does not come with a like Spike Daniel exosuit figure at all, which is interesting. I was hoping that because they got rid of it, maybe he'd include a sword, but nope, no sword. So just one sword for the two of them. Still in the problem of, you want the sword, you have to, which is weird considering these based on the G2 toys. You think you can include the sword, but he doesn't. Go figure. Or at least I didn't find a sword in the box. I don't think there's supposed to be one. Yeah, no. It was a little disappointing. That. Now, as for some measurements, Snarl weighs 11.1 ounces or 316 grams. Slug weighs 10.3 ounces, 292 grams. And to the top of the head, Snarl is 8 1/8 inches tall, 20.6 centimeters. And so they're both the same at the top of the head. So about 8 1/8 inches or about 20.6 centimeters. Snarl total is about 8 9/16 inches tall, 21.7 centimeters tall to the top of these, and him to the top of his Foley is 9 inches tall or 22.8 centimeters. So there you go on that. Now, as for comparisons, let's see. I don't know what to do. Okay, so first, Snarl with, well, here's Studio Series G1 Snarl. Give me an idea there. That's the thing is, yeah, you can see the reds are different. Like, well, obviously, the chest reds are different. This is a darker red, and also there's a little bit more paint on it, like the blue and the yellow bit right there. But yeah, see, generally pretty much, you know, the same toy. Now Slug here, getting him out of the way. Slug here with his G1 Studio Series self. Right there you can see, again, the solid red head and everything, but again, darker red here versus the brighter red. Different details on the knees and everything. But generally, again, the same robot. You can see also, yeah, the little dinosaur frill is kind of this white, bone white thing versus, you know, silver here. And again, red eyes versus blue eyes. So there's that. And of course, gonna get these guys back a little bit because I can get all three of them in frame. Here's Age of the Primes G2 Grimlock. So yep, this is... Who's standing funny? There we go. Yeah, this is technically a complete G2 Dinobot collection. Technically, because... What are you doing? This is technically a complete G2 Dinobot collection because these are the three that released. I mean, granted, you can also technically grab, you know, the G1 versions and slap G2 tampos on them, call them G2 as well. And I guess you could also try to, you know, repaint this into green and him into red and him and get him one of him and paint him turquoise, I believe. But yeah, this is technically a complete G2 Dinobot collection as it stands because Swoop and Sludge never got released in G2 because they were planned to, but never got released. And they already confirmed though we are getting them next year, I believe, in another box set, so that'll be fun because we'll get the unreleased prototype versions that were never came about. But yeah, there's three of them. Look great together, very colorful, very bright, very 90s. So that is pretty much the robot modes. Look really good, and they're pretty solid, and they're pretty fun. And yeah, so transformation though. Gonna start with Snarl just because I guess his name's first on the box, so we'll just put him off, Slug off to the side for now. Snarl, of course, get this out of the hand. One kind of thing, of course, is you take this peg right here and plug it in right here if you want to store the sword away instead of him holding it. But yeah, I almost forgot about that. I almost forget about the weapon storage. Yeah, so what you want to do here is first is take this bit and extend this bit out right here, rotate this foot around. Then rotate the hand around right here, and then rotate this bit in like that. You want to go ahead and bring this up. There's a hinge right here. You want to untab that and bring it forward, and there's this little slot right here, which this tab will go into, like so. And then same thing on this side. Bring this foot down and then bring this leg back, and hopefully don't pop the foot. Don't do that, and hopefully you don't do that. Yeah, bring this back like so, rotate the foot around, rotate the fist around, then collapse the fist into the forearm like so, and then again, untab this bit. Try to ignore the fact that you see the plastic flexing. I'm going to tab this bit and then bring this up and tab this into the shoulder like that, and just kind of let those chill out there for now. Now from there, what you want to go ahead and do is come back here, untab this and that like that. Just kind of bring that up. Then bring these tail fins, untab those, and bring them back and, you know, tab the tail together. Take the head and just kind of push it in. Push it in the chest cavity like so. Then right here, you want to take this whole torso piece and just kind of lift that up like that. And then extend the body out like that. You want to rotate the waist 180 like so. Down here at the feet, what you want to, or legs, what you want to do is bring this back, the back half of the foot and the back of the leg out. Then bring this, untab this and bring it forward. Yeah, untab it and bring it forward like this. And then bring this around like so. Just tab that in to the side of the leg like that. Bring the toe down. Bring the toe down like there. And on this side, same thing. Bring the foot, whole foot and back of the leg back. Untab this, the dino leg. Bring it forward, and then untab this and bring it around. and then tab it in the side of the dinosaur bit right there like that. I also want to bring these out as far as possible just for clearance's sake. And then right here, the front of the foot, also bring this foot down. By the front of the leg, untab that, and untab this bit panel right there. And then you'll tab the legs together, at least you should be able to. And then rotate at the knee, rotate it around. And when you, as you do so, it doesn't untab itself in the process, like it just did for me. Why did you untab yourself? There you go. The head should come out as well. There, yeah, see the head's coming out. Bring the head down. And then bring this, once the head's all the way out, you go ahead and bring these down. Those will tab it in the, I guess, behind the head. Again, or they're supposed to. There we go. Tab that back in the head, behind the head like that. And again, it's supposed to stay tabbed together, but again, like I said, he doesn't like to stay tabbed together in dinosaur mode. Anyway, make sure these feet slip underneath the torso panel, and compress this back again, and then bring this down. This will tab into the feet like that. Go ahead and rotate the dino legs, the rear ones, all the way around like that. Close this up right here. Make sure that's tabbed in. Close these up right here. They'll also tab together. Again, it's supposed to like that. And then go ahead and bring this, bring this forward and bring this in. Tab that in right there. Unfold the feet right here, like that. And yeah, there's a Snarl in his Dino mode again. Not tabbing together properly. I don't know why. There we go. There's Snarl in his Dino mode, so we'll put him off to the side real quick and focus on Slug here, which, of course, you take the gun here, unplug it from his hand. Then right here, when I take the hand here, rotate it 180, and then fold it into the forearm like that. Rotate the forearm and fold in the forearm. Yeah. And extend, or rotate the arms forward like this. Just keep them out of the way. Now down here, back here at the backpack, what you want to do is take the tail, bring it out like this, bring it down this armature, and then bring this armature out like this, and then untab this from the back of the crest, and just kind of bring it back like that. Kind of leave it all like this for now. Also bring this like that, so it sits like that. You want to go ahead and take these pieces and move those up on the shoulders like that. And then right here, what you want to do is bring this down, like so. Collapse the head into this bit right here. Bring these out. Bring this up into the head piece like this, and then collapse these side bits of the shoulders into the torso like that. And like that. Bring this up over top. Right here, you want to make sure these frill things, you'll tab those in like that. So. I'll tell tab in like so. And then back here, what you want to do on the legs is go ahead and rotate that 180 at the legs, like so. Make sure the feet are fully collapsed and tabbed in, like that. And then back here, actually what you want to do, what you want to do here is bring the foot down, untab this bit, bring this out, then close this back up, and then bring the foot back up like that. Same thing, bring the foot out like this, bring out this panel right there, bring this around, close this back up, and then bring the foot back up and tab it in. Now what you want to do from here is then, well, bend the knee like that and bring the hip up right here. Make sure this is staying out of the way. Bring the hip up right here and bring that down like this. So it's going to look like that. And then right here, this little tab right here is going to go in the little slot right there like that. So same thing, again, bring the hip up like this and then also fold the knee using both hinges. And tab it in the side of this bit right there. Make sure it's all lined up nicely, like so. So, like so. Why are you not lining up? There we go. Then you go ahead and bring this down over top. This gold bits will go over these little those bits right there, and bring this back and down. These little tabs are going to feed between the legs, like that. See like that, and the tail here you can see will just kind of, it's all lined up. You can see the tail here is just gonna notch in the toes like that. Go ahead and make sure that's all the way down. Go ahead and bring these side panels down and then tab them into the sides. Make sure everything's all nice and together, and then bring the rear legs out like this and bring them out like that. And again, bring the leg out, rotate the leg out from the hip and bring it out right there. And pretty much mostly done. Now you just take the gun here and you'll peg it into the back of the tail to complete the tail. And with that, you have Slug in his robot, in his Dino mode, and you have Snarl in his robot in his Dino mode. So there you go. And yeah, like the G1 Studio Series G1 versions prior, the transformation are not particularly difficult per se. Just, you know, basically it's just a enhanced version of the G1 toy, which, you know, that's kind of what a lot of people want. So hey, or I guess in this case, the G2 toy. But yeah, again, looking at something close, you get again pretty much mostly red here again on Snarl, mostly the, you know, the reds, the desaturated red and the more saturated red. Again, I'm gonna fix that the plates here so they line up better, because you see that's pretty off. The tail, you know, got the whole thing where he sits in a weird way that some people really do not like. Yeah, it sits in very specific ways a lot of people just simply do not like, but you know, I think it's fine. Again, mine, the weird thing is, I don't know what it is, but something is causing this to the head and yeah, basically the front of the dinosaur bit to just not want to stay tabbed together. I don't know if it's like a tab is too big or somewhere, or just there's something like slightly off. I'm not sure if this is a common issue, but unfortunately the head in front of the dinosaur just simply do not want to stay tabbed together very much. But other than that, he's actually pretty solid. And of course, Slug here is, well, he's green. He's very green, lots of gold. You got a lot of gold healing right there. You got the black right there. You got the gold tail and the gold head with the silver mouth, silver crest, red horns, all about simple red eyes. Everything looks really good here. The greens and that's the silver right here, and of course the gun kind of completes the tail. Got a big old feet and everything. So yeah, yeah, it looks pretty good. Now there's a peg hole right here. That's the other thing, was I forgot to mention his storage for, yeah, if you want to plug the gun in the back, you can do so. We just, you know, plug it in right there. Although I believe that some of the backpack stuff will get a little bit. No, this all folds up underneath. So yeah, you can plug the gun in his gun in right there. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, just again, I always forget to. I even mentioned Snarls and forgot to mention his. I'm a smart person. But yeah, of course, what happens storage for him? You of course put this, you know, underneath. And tab that in underneath right there, and I believe that kind of somewhat helps hold it together a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know, maybe actually makes things worse. Yeah, I see. I don't know what it is, but yeah, something is causing the head to split apart. I have no idea what it is. I have to like sit here and like hold it, and then it will somewhat stay together. But yeah, you see, this is just a split. I don't know what the problem is. Seems to be something up here though, because yeah, if this is all tabbed together down here, then this comes untabbed up here. So yeah, something's up. Yeah, I can get it to hold together if I hold it, but yeah, it doesn't take much to undo it. Articulation in this mode for Snarl anyway is well, the mouth can open, and the mouth can open, and you got the, you know, kind of, there's some molded teeth, and again, on mine, something is causing it to untab itself from itself. Says that, but you know, the head can't really move anywhere. The front legs, you got the, you know, right there, you got that forward and back. There's actually technically a ball joint, so you got inward and outward right there too. There's a hinge right here to go that much range, so you got all that, and this can do a full rotation right there. I guess you could do that if you want, but, you know, that's kind of your own transforming at that point. This right here, of course, again, still is the same shoulder as before, so, you know, forward and back, ratcheted. You got this right here. It's kind of an outward, but it's not really a good one. And also, I'm probably untap that. You got this hinge right here. You got that hinge right here, which can go that far back and that far forward. And you got this, it can rotate, and there's a hinge right here as well, with that much range. And there's your lot. Not really a whole lot of articulation right there. And as for Slug, well, right here at the mouth, you do have the mouth can open like that. And you got a little peg there, which of course, yeah, that was the other thing I almost forgot. Peg there, which yeah means, you know, blast effects can go over that peg right there. Bah. Breathe fire. Does he have one? I think he has a peg in there. No, he does not. I forgot. He does not have a peg in there. So he's got that, you know, blast effect compatibility, which is nice. Yeah, other than that, the head doesn't really move at all. Right here, of course, these shoulders, of course, are the same robot shoulder, so, you know, still ratcheted forward and back. You do have outward right there as well. That swivel and this right here can go forward and back a bit right there. This, no ratchet, but, you know, forward and back, no outward. You got that hinge right there, and then this hinge right here. And that's, again, pretty much your lot. Not a whole lot of articulation, but more than the original G1 toy. Or actually, I think almost equal to the original G1 toy. So yeah, there's the two of them. They're robot mode, or dino modes. But yeah. As for measurements, Snarl here from front to back is about 8 inches or 20.3 centimeters long. And Slug here from front to back is about 9 3/4 inches or 24.7 centimeters long. So yeah, both big chunky boys. So there's that. And for comparisons, of course, Snarl, again, compared to his Studio Series, G1 Studio Series self right there, which I have a slightly weird angle. Just realized that. There we go. That you can see the difference between the two. He's got a few extra paint apps on the side there, but yeah. That stuff. Of course, Slug. The Studio Series Slug. G1 version, you can see again the difference in colors. Particularly again, blue eyes, no silver and gold, the red, the horns, and silver and white frill. No gold back here, darker right there. Also, maybe it's just me, but it almost looks like the gold is actually slightly shinier on the G2 version. The gold paint is also slightly shinier, but maybe it's just, I don't know. Yeah, versus, yeah, they're kind of duller colors versus this one has the, he still has the pegs though. These, yeah, you can see he still has the pegs for the Daniel Spike, whatever. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's Daniel, but yeah. Still has the pegs because they didn't read them all. So there's that. And of course, gonna have the 3 G2 dinos, because here's G2, Age of the Primes G2 Grimlock. And yep, once again they look good together. Red, blue, and green. Very good looking overall. So there is that. So that is Snarl and Slug, the Age of the Primes pack. Overall, still a really good pack. It's still a good pack. These are still good molds. I still really like them overall. Transformation is still, you know, solid but simple. Simple but solid and fun. Generally, I've noticed most of the tolerances are better, other than my Snarl, again, in Dino mode, the head wants to split apart for some reason. And of course, yeah, once the way Snarl is packaged, he'll probably have a good bent fin or two, back fin or two, kind of bent, but you know, that's easy enough to fix. It is, again, it's rubbery plastic, so you know, well, take some heat to it, and it should fix it. You should be able to bend it into shape. But yeah, they generally are still really fun toys. They look good in their new G2 colors and everything. I really like these to sell. And my only disappointment is just simply Snarl's head does not like to stay together in Dino mode. That's my only problem with him, really, is that. But other than that, they're pretty solid overall. And I guess, Snarl also has the problem where his fists sometimes will work themselves off the peg if I twist them too much. But that's not a huge problem. Usually, just if I'm aware of it, it'll be not a problem at all. But they just, other than those two things, they generally feel a little bit more solid than my G1 version. So I'm guessing, I'm wondering if they just made some slight tweaks or something or whatever, or maybe I just got lucky. But they're really good, and I really like them. And the thing is, the price is, well, when I ordered it, I got it for $100, but then they shortly, like an hour later or something, like raised the price to $110. I believe, because that's what it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's still $110. It might have gone to $120 because now liters are $60 each. Any which way, I still think it's a solid deal. You're getting 2-liter, really good, large, chunky, fun liter class toys for about $100 to $120. So I think it's worth it. But again, mostly if you like G2 colors. If you don't really like the G2 stuff, go ahead and pass on this. But yeah, they have already, I think, confirmed for 2026 we will be getting Sludge and Swoop, and their G2 colors, which I believe are orange and like this really bright green. So I'm really excited to see those when they got revealed. So then we'll have the ones that never got released. So there you go. They're just good, and overall, I just have a couple of problems with my snarls. I got to figure that out. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm hoping that I'm hoping the head problem's not common. I know the fin problem's common, but I'm hoping the head problem's not too common. Yeah. That's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social medias down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee, my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.